We're out here on a nice sunny day at the ranch, and we have a vehicle to drive. Yes, a Buick. And yes, we did take it off-road because it's an SUV. That's what they're for. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Let's start the video back into the city. I feel like I'm being watched here. What? Oh, good. I'm going to get mauled by a bull. Bye-bye. We're at our storage and test facility. Let's see what we're rolling out today. Another Buick, the second one we've had this month. Instead of the dark black paint I had on the first one, I have a nice red metallic paint, which is going to be far more comfortable to drive outside because it's 105 degrees today. Black paint doesn't reflect heat very well. I think this will. It looks better too. And this is the Buick Encore GX. It says so right here. This is a pretty nice looking vehicle, I think. The first thing I want to do when I get a vehicle is to check and see if there's a spare tire, especially on an SUV that might be going off-road. So let's see what we got here. Yep. Hey, lots of storage room under here too for other stuff. It's a dinky spare, but better than none at all. This is a dinky vehicle. I don't think we could fit a full size in there anyway. And the second thing we always do is take the headlights out in the dark and see how they perform. So let's do that right now. All right, it's dark. Let's see what these lights do. And here's the reverse camera in action. Looks pretty good. Let's see what else it does. And this is not a mirror. This is also a rear camera. This is a screen. There's the mirror. Can't see much there. There is the rear view camera. Pretty nifty. Here we have the low beams on a wall 100 feet away. Extremely bright, good widespread. And I see we have the heads-up display on. I don't like heads-up displays. I want to find a way to turn this off. Oh, here are the high beams. Very bright in the middle. And here we have the high beams on a fence 80 yards away. The building behind it 130 yards away. Nice lights, good and bright, good low beam. I'd say these headlights are pretty nice. I have no complaints. By the way, this vehicle does have one design flaw that nobody seems to talk about on YouTube or the car magazine, so don't go away because I'm going to show you what that is. You want to know that, right? Stick around, I'll tell you. Let's look under the hood and see what we've got. The base engine is a 3-cylinder, that's right, 1.2 liter turbo, putting out 137 horsepower. This is the upgraded one. Again, 3 cylinders, but bumps up from 1.2 to 1.3 liters. What a jump, right? Turbo putting out 155 horsepower. This does come in all-wheel drive, a 9-speed automatic. This is a front-wheel drive with CVT. Fuel economy is rate 30 in the city, 32 on the highway, and 31 overall. We'll be taking this out in the real world to see if that's true. So let's remove the window sticker up and see what the price tag and information is. Let's take a look at the price sheet and see what we have here. The base price of one of these is $24,200, but this is an upgraded one, I see. So where is the base price? There we go. $20,600. Technology package we really don't need, but get anyway. Moonroof, bigger wheels, automatic parking assist. More fluff. Wow, $495 for the metallic paint. $395 for the bigger engine. Well, that's a good buy. Long ways from 24,200. We don't even have all-wheel drive. This is front-wheel drive. All-wheel drive costs more. A couple thousand more, I'm told. So these can get pricey. Now, the last Buick we had was made completely in China. Here we have a strange setup. The engine and transmissions are made in Mexico. Then they're shipped to Korea, where the whole vehicle is put apart. Then the vehicle is shipped over here. That's a lot of shipping. You'd think it'd be just as easy to build the car in the USA somewhere, but I guess they don't think so. Here's the Buick Envision we tested and did a video on before we did the video on this Encore. We'll have a link for that video at the end of this video. Just go to the end, click and watch. And we also drove this Kia Sorento X-Line. Very nice small SUV. We'll have a link for that video at the end of this video as well. So you're getting 3 videos to watch. Or 452 videos if you scroll on my channel. Something for everybody. This is a very nice looking cabin. Let's take a closer look. We get a decent sized glove box. Very large for a vehicle this small. The climate controls are very simple, easy to use. A decent sized info screen. Here's what the camera looks like in the daytime. Pretty good quality. Here's what the rearview camera in the rearview mirror looks like. Very widespread. Great for city traffic or the expressway. This is marketed as a 5-passenger, but you're really not going to get more than 2 full-size adults in the second row, but that's okay. Adequate for those 2. The quality materials and workmanship is very nice in this vehicle. I was surprised. The gauge cluster is very simple, well designed, at least when you're in the shade. When you're not in the shade out in the sun, now we get the flaw I was talking about earlier that I find inexcusable. Let's go outside and I'll show you. And here you go. Certain times of the day the sun reflects off the gauges and I can't see squat. Can you? Well, I don't understand 2 things. How did this get into production from design to off the assembly line without somebody not noticing this? And number 2, why is it I'm the only tester on YouTube or the car magazines that said something about this? Because I looked up the other reviews after I noticed this and hey, has anyone else noticed this? Well, they had to notice it. They just didn't want to say anything for some reason. This really bugs me. I don't think it's a deal killer, but I got to deduct a couple points for this. In all fairness, I'm going to do a 360-degree circle. So not at all angles. But you get the idea. And actually another flaw, in my opinion, you can turn the head display off, and when you turn the vehicle off, it disappears into the dash, but when you turn the vehicle on, the plastic screen pops up even though the HUD system itself is turned off. I don't think it's a good idea to have this plastic screen up all the time if you're not using it, because you sure know that it's going to break. If it's off, it should be going off away from the dash, not popping up above the dash. Because what's going to happen, someone's going to put a sunshade up, and sooner or later it's going to make contact with a strap or something and pull this off. This needs to be redesigned. Again, not a deal killer, just annoying like the reflection in the gauges. Alright, stop complaining. Get to the video, right? Alright. First half of the video, show and tell, is over. Second half, we're going to do some driving. Let's get started right now. Usually on an SUV like this, the power steering is dull or dead. Not a problem here. This is a very lively setup. The steering ratio is very quick. I like it. I don't think the typical soccer mom will care, but I like it. I don't think there's going to be any complaints. The factory recommends 35 pounds of air all around, which I think is slightly high. Let's see how it does on speed humps. At 20 miles per hour, number one. Felt it, but it's a short wheelbase. I would expect that. Hump number two. Not bad for a short wheelbase car. Number three. Now here comes the nasty one. Yeah, I knew we were going to feel that one, but on the street it's a lot smoother than on these humps. Still reasonably comfortable to drive. One thing I don't care for are shiny objects in the cabin that reflect the sun, and here I see some of the fake chrome trim is reflecting the sun on my face. Why do they put this shiny stuff in vehicles? Stop it already. I'm not sure if the vehicle with the all-wheel drive and 9-speed automatic is quicker than this one with front-wheel drive and CVT, but really the acceleration on this isn't that bad. It sounds like a 3-cylinder, but moves out okay. Now if you loaded the vehicle up with 4 people, I don't know, but with just me in here, it's adequate. For daily commuting, this is a very nice vehicle to have. The seats are comfortable, the air conditioning blows cold, and the brakes are perfect. Nice firm pedal feel and very aggressive response, the way I like it. Let's look at some fuel economy numbers, and as we see by the temperature gauge, almost all my driving the past couple of days has been at temperatures between 100 and 113 degrees, so it was very hot. In approximately 50 miles of city heavy traffic, with most trips running around 3 or 4 miles each. So we know the fuel economy number is not going to be very impressive initially. Well, 18.3, no kidding. That's not very good. Oh, it's really not the fault of the vehicle, considering the temperatures and short trips and heavy throttle I was using. I guess we could say this is the worst we're ever going to see. Now if we scroll inside the computer, it says for the past 450 miles, the average is 25.8, with a momentarily best of 29.4. That doesn't count, it's the top figure that's the most important. So let's say 26 mpg. We're going to take a freeway trip and see what type of fuel economy we can get. And I might add, this is a very comfortable vehicle to drive on the expressway or highway. The wind noise is very low. In fact, the overall noise is extremely low. These seats are very comfortable. And the driving position is very high, so you can see everything around you. And the steering is very nice, very responsive. And I love this rear view camera system that runs into the rear view mirror. Gives a fantastic field of view. I'd like to see this on all cars, but it only seems to be on General Motors products for the most part. And again, because of the glare, I can't read the gauges, but I can see the MPG, which is steady at 27.6. You know, if you didn't tell people this was a 3-cylinder, they probably wouldn't notice it's not a 4-cylinder. It's smooth and quiet unless you really put the gas throttle down. It makes a funny buzzing noise, but overall performs decent. But still, when you're paying 35 grand for a vehicle, I guess you'd like a bigger and more powerful 4-cylinder. But you're not going to get it, so live with this one. It's not that bad. This Buick isn't a sports car, but the handling isn't too bad on tight corners. The steering is definitely great, and the brakes are fantastic. If you're hearing a bunch of rattling noises, it's not the vehicle falling apart. I have a couple of cases of BBs and pellets in a box I picked up for a friend, for his son. He has a pellet gun and a BB gun. That's the noise you hear, not the car. Since this is an SUV, we're going to take this off the pavement. This is a pretty nasty road, lots of ruts and washboard terrain. They can play havoc on the suspension, but this vehicle is doing a pretty good job absorbing the impacts. And the body's rock solid, no rattles. This does have the ground clearance to go off-road, and if you get all-wheel drive, you'll definitely have better traction, but I don't. I think we'll manage anyway. I'm not going to do a whole bunch of off-roading clips on this video. It'll make it too long. Just say for light-duty off-roading, just remember this is a car, not a truck. So tread lightly and you'll be okay. Great for camping adventures and things like that, going to the lake. Oh great, I just cornered a big animal into a corner. If he decides to charge, I'm going to have a big problem going over the edge on my left. Nice doggy. Hey, how you doing? I'll get out of your way real quick. Yes, we actually do have swamps in the desert. I'm told there's an alligator in there, but hasn't shown up yet. In the meantime, what do I think about this Buick after a week of driving? Well, it does have a lot of positive features. It's a very good looking vehicle, especially with this metallic red paint. A beautiful interior. Very comfortable to drive on the highway and in daily commuting. Nice brakes. On the negative side, the glare that reflects off the gauge cluster and the fake chrome on the inside. It's not a deal killer. It is annoying. I don't know how they ever got in production. I guess they just don't have sun over in Korea where they developed this car. The real question is, can this Buick compete with the top sellers, the Toyota RAV or the Honda CR-V, or some of the other models that the Koreans from Kia and Hyundai have been coming out with that are selling quite well? There are still consumers out there who do not want to drive a nameplate with a Korean brand or Japanese brand. They want an American brand like Buick, stamped on the outside. This should fulfill their wishes quite well, but let's don't tell them it's made in Korea. Might hurt their feelings. I won't tell if you won't. Frankly, I don't care where a vehicle is made. If it's something I like, I'm going to get it. Here's a video link of another Buick we drove, as well as another imported SUV. Just click and watch.